thank you everybody for being here. I'm really glad that you are here hearing me today. And for people that are not my husband or my friends, my name is Angela Cortes. I am full-time student right now for artificial intelligence, for ethical AI and strategic decision science. I have 10 years of experience in quality assurance, automation testing, manual testing, all that kind of things. And I have experience working in the banking, healthcare, and mining industries. And right now my mindset is making things happen. That's why I'm here. I'm going to mention all the communities where I belong. And this is really important for me because we have been hearing all day, find a place where you belong. And that is my main point from today from this talk, okay? So I'm going to start with Commit Your Code for sure. I was here last year. I was here as a volunteer, and right now I'm a speaker. I'm so glad for that. Because thank you. Because you guys makes me feel that I belong here and I need to tell my story. And the second one is Torque. I am ambassador for Torque, a global community so great that is finding amazing people and matching with amazing companies. So they are really active. They are really young, modern, out there. It's talking a lot. So yeah, find Torque online. And also I belong to the DFW Alliance of Technology and Women. And what they do is to find girls in the high schools and teaching STEM things. I think that's awesome. They are really fabulous. And the most recent, I am a co-founder with 3 amazing women of AI women leaders here in Dallas. So we are building a global community for women to embrace AI. So, as Danny Thompson has mentioned a couple of times in some of these meetups, networking is not about the number of connections. It's about the people who advocate for you when you are not in the room. And when I hear that, I found this really powerful because that is going to make you sense when I finish this talk. So my presentation for today is going to be split in 2 things: the maturity assessments of QA and QA and AI trends, of course. We are in the AI area, is here, is not going everywhere, so we need to start talking about this and find the ways to belong in the AI community. So, quality assurance is not black or white. That's the name of my speech. Quality assurance is not something that you should check and say, yes, I have it. No, it's a spectrum, okay? And what is a spectrum? Because it's a spectrum of process, people, and culture. So, before AI, we used to measure different things, that the qualities of the metrics of reliability, performance, usability, security. And with that, we need to find the process excellent to move from chaos to an structured workflow. Also, to add tools and provide value to our clients. And the collaboration culture, we have shift-left testing, right shift testing. So we have a lot of things that involve people, that involve domain, that involve the knowledge of the business. So, AI. So right now, the 4 things that we need to add is AI-proof quality, okay? And to be able to test AI and testing with AI. And I think for me that I have been learning about this are 2 different things. And I'm going to explain that later, okay? And the metrics, well, trust is out there. So this is some metrics from KMPG this year that we are in a non-returning point. Like half of the people is trusting in AI, half of the people is not trusting. And I think there is people that are trusting a lot. So many. So we need to start being the humans in the loop. And I believe that our profile as QAs, that are people that understand in the business, are people that understand in technical teams, we need to be out there and be the humans in the loop, okay? So these are the 5 stages of QA maturity. We start with the survival mode. Is where we don't have anything. We start doing some testing to check how is the system, to understand the processes, and we don't have a lot of structure there. The second one is the structure approach, when we have now test plans, when we have some tools, some things that we are defining, we start defining the types of testings, and then we have the adaptive testing. That is when we start to figuring out where are the risks, where we should be doing things. And I'm going to jump to the continuous evolution, because continuous evolution should be there all the time. We need to continue evolving with the new practices, with new things. But right now I add a new state, that is AI ready operations. We should be ready. We should be there to getting ready to be an AI with quality. Okay, so that's one. If you go to the industry, there is two main maturity models out there that assess the levels of the quality that are, for example, this one is the testing maturity model, and it evaluates where is the level of your quality processes and your quality tools. So it's in the initial, manager, define, measure, and optimizing, where basically you're going to make an assessment about all the practices, tools, and all the components of your quality, and you're going to check where you are, okay? So there is another version of TIOB that what I like about this one is that measure everything, even the culture of the company. So you can set and how to do this. So before AI, what you did is to select your categories. You check about all the practices that you have been doing, and you check what the industry is doing. So you set a goal about what do you want to have, what do you want to achieve with quality. We want to do, for example, more automation, or we want to do more performance testing. So you add this kind of question of your assessment, and it's really simple. You do an Excel of yes or no questions, 1, 0. And if you check someone in 0, it means that you have a lack of that, no? So in this example, this is an example I made for a former banking company, where I was assigned to be the lead of the quality assurance to measure the different projects. And we were a Scrum team that we were assigned 3 months for each of the projects, and we need to start measuring and set a roadmap, 3 months, do all the work, and leave them working alone. So, and in this example, you can check that there is in the radar mapping there, you can check that the process and the tools, well, are really good there. However, the AI and the innovation and the people culture was not that good. And that's where you identify where you need to focus. Okay? So, how to assess? I'm going to suggest you 3 practices that are out there. The first one is the 3 amigos sessions. The 3 amigos session means that you need to involve not only the quality assurance people, you need to involve also business people, stakeholders, all the people that is involved in quality assurance. The second one is the team self-reflection. In my experience, I have worked very good with agile teams where you live and you create a safe space for QAs to be able to provide you feedback. That's really valuable to receive all the information from them, what they are hearing in the company, what's happening out there with other projects. That, I think, is amazing. And the third one is the automation as a product. You need to evaluate automation testing not as something that is out there that helps you know automation testing is a product. You have a project, you have features, you need to make the requirements. So you need to evaluate automation as a product. And finally, you need to create a roadmap. And remember, roadmap is not a destination. roadmap is a navigation system. You can pivot, you can find something that is close, so you know you go to another road. So the first thing is you need to start with the assessment to know where you are. That's the power of the assessment. Recognize that you have lack of knowledge, that you have lack of training, that you have lack of tools, all that kind of things, and then move to set a goal for sure. But the second strategy is to set a smart milestone. We all know smart goals. We all know that we should select things that are measurable, that are evaluable, that are testable, and to set this. And for me, I have this experience with the 3 sprints iteration. That is, we select a tool, we select a process, and we apply it into our teams, and we evaluate it after 3 sprints. If you find that the tool make a progress, give some valuable for you, keep it. If you think like we are not there yet, what we can do, allow it 2 more sprints. But if you find definitely it's not working, it's the worst, before we were better, delete it and move on. Okay, we need to be agile when we create these kinds of things. And for sure, measure your impact. The tool of the maturity assessment, I saw in the company that we make the maturity assessment in the first month. And before this strategy, we didn't make any assessment after the practices were installed. So that's really powerful. Measure what happened after all this month that you start to move into these strategies. So that's basically maturity assessment. Andrea today showed us a really good tool for not only assess QA, but also AI practices that there is different frameworks that are out there. I'm going to suggest you to see her presentation that is going to be really insightful on that. So I'm going to move to QA and AI trends. Okay, this is the second part of my presentation. And as I mentioned, I'm going to split this in 2 things. Testing with AI and testing AI is really different, guys. So testing with AI. Testing with AI, I'm going to mention 3 trends right now that are out there. That is LLM to make the test plan when you can upload to ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity, any tools that you find. You can upload the business requirements domains or the business requirement tests and all the documents that you have out there defining by just business, the business roles, and create all the test cases, test plan ideas. However, you need to verify, no? Trust, but verify. All the time. You need to verify if there's some lack of knowledge, if you need to add more information to the LLM, if you need to ask more things to the LLM. And the second trend is the visual testing. I recently went to Chicago last week, and I was able to see how now people is trying to do with automation testing, what we do is to drive into the browser all the step-by-steps, but right now with convolutional models and all the neural networks that are out there in computer vision, we are going to be able to classify things, visual things, to be able to identify if some main chains are in the UI. So visual testing is something that is coming. And AI and predictive QA, and what it means is like AI models analyze the logs, the telemetry, and define the behavior of the system. And I'm going to show you an example that is out there, that is Vivian. Last week, as I mentioned, I was in Chicago, and this is Jason Huggins, the creator of Selenium, and he was talking about Vivian. Vivian is the tool he is building to, and what it does is to create, it's like a plugin for the systems that identify all the behavior that develop if you are, for example, vibe coding. When you do vibe coding, developer, you make a lot of clicks to test if the system is working or not. So he is tracking all that information and to get to understand the behavior based on that steps that you are doing in the system. And with that, he shows some graphs there that are the nodes and some edge that are the information of the clicks and the inputs and that kind of things. So this is really cool because with all that information, we are going to be able to create models because now we are going to have all the data. And I think that is the next, for me, in my experience, and as a student of AI, I think I can be a little biased because right now I want to do everything with AI or models or deep learning. But I think this is where we should be as QAs, trying to understand this. Okay? The other example is Donubu. Donubu is a startup from San Francisco, and what they are doing is they build a library for, if I am not wrong, from Java or Python, I am not sure right now. But what they do is to add this library into IDE, and you're going to be able to create the test with prompting. Okay. Right now let's move on to test AI. Now that's the main concern of all the QA community. We have a lack of knowledge on that, and I think that lack of knowledge is a great opportunity because if no one is doing this, we should be doing this. So what I have researched and seen is we are using LLM as quality judge. What it means is now we are facing a move on to a new paradigm that is the non-deterministic testing. Before AI, what QA do is to say, okay, I do A plus B and I got C. But right now, we have non-deterministic data. It means we are not sure about the outcome of the test. Okay? So we are trying to make the LLMs to judge themselves and to compare the different outcomes. Other things that I have seen is the LangChain workflow validation. That the LangChain is a big library to build RAG, and they have a framework for testing, and you need to understand some indicators, some metrics that it shows you, and to be able to validate that. And RAG testing for sure. And the trust, as I mentioned right now, the trust, I think, is something that is going to be increasing in all the speech and all the talking that we have in QA. So, and I think QA also are involved in build and improve the trust for these products and services with AI. So this is Gartner. This is a framework built by them. There is not a lot of information out there, but what I can mention is they are building a framework to trust, risk, security, and management. And this is something that I am researching in my master degree. Is an idea because when I start my master degree, I say to my director, I want to continue working with QA because I know there is a lot of things out there that we can do. So this is the trust table chain of products and services with AI. And this is my proposal. I believe that now to build trust, we need to work with different people and different profiles, not only QAs. For example, sociologists to understand what's happening in the behavior of the society with AI. For example, marketing people to understand not only outside, inside the companies, what's happening, how we are selling AI to our developers, how we are selling AI to our people to work with this. Also, lawyers, we need lawyers to build the governance of all of this. And collaborate, that's the main point now. So this is the hype cycle of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. You can see there is a lot of things that we can do. We are right now in the AI engineering So there is a lot of emergency technologies here you can check. And the main point to show this is because I have talked with a lot of QAs that feel the QA role is dying. I don't know what is going to happen to us. But guys, all these emerging technology, what they need? Software, for sure. So we should be there. We should be there taking more knowledge about what we need to do, understanding the basis. So where QAs can start, I can suggest you to first understanding the terms. We should be able to talk to understand what is chunking, what is embedding, what is RAG, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, and all the new terms for sure, agentic AI, generative AI, quantum, that is the next wave that is coming. And I can suggest you free courses. For example, Deep Learning AI has great courses from Andrew Ng. And also Joe Colantonio, that is a big reference in the QA world. He has a lot of podcasts and things. For example, this one that is AI testing in 90 days. That is a strategic guide. It's really good if you want to understand more how to apply AI into testing. And for sure, as the last speaker talked about prompting, I know improving your prompting engineering skill is really, really necessary for QAs. Okay, and try to compare. I start working a lot with ChatGPT. Right now, I'm moving more to work with Claude for different things. What I do, I create prompts with ChatGPT. I ask ChatGPT create these prompts, and I move to Claude for some things. And for automation and agentic, I use Perplexity. So I am not using only one. We need to use and compare the different tools that are out there. So if someone noticed when I present myself, I have a blank space there. And that blank space is because when I start looking for where to belong, when I arrived to Dallas, I didn't find anything about QA. I found communities of developers, I found communities of DevOps, I found different communities, and I asked, where are all the QAs? More than Dimitri, I met last year, and Bob, that is here today also. So I say, how come? If we are also developers, we do code, we belong to the developers community, we should be out there talking loud. That's why I create From the Network. So From the Network is a channel that is built with AI vision, QA background, and networking as a compass. That's right now it's a channel where I produce information for QAs to understand terms, to be out there, and that's where my second mindset born, that is opening spaces for QAs in the AI era. That's what I have been doing. That is my promise for the next 2 years when I'm studying, to be out there, to talk with people, to understand what's happening in the industry. And I'm going to suggest you, everybody, to continue reach out all the people that you met today, as how your plane back to your hometown went, all that kind of questions. Open spaces for QAs, please, if you are in the QA area. And that's it. That was my presentation. Thank you so much.